Okay, so as I was eating my lunch at my job, I had a realization, and the realization is this: stop taking on missions you shouldn't be taking on at this point in your life. And I'm only talking to certain people, and I'm only talking to who, I'm talking about the people that consider themselves the chosen ones. Now, why am I specifically saying this? Well, as I'm sitting there, you're realizing your soul, your spirit is ready for you to be free and to indulge and have fun in the environment that best benefits you. But instead, you're constantly putting yourself in environments that you're going to deal with gaslighting. People feel a certain kind of way. You're dealing with certain energies that just doesn't fit. And we're talking about energies from higher levels, okay? And these particular energies are always looking for a problem. They won't tell you what the problem is, but they're looking for a problem. And they want to see you fall, but you keep putting yourself in that environment. You won't follow your dream. You won't follow your heart. You continue to follow what other people say, and your spirit is looking at you like, when are you going to follow your passion? When are you going to follow your heart? When are you going to say, finally, stop being in environments where people don't wish you good? And I don't even say this with heaviness on my heart anymore. I say this from a genuine space because you're going to wait till you're 40, 50 to finally follow your passions. Because one of the quotes that I saw earlier today was, you continue to choose suffering. And we're still stuck on the mentality of, we're still stuck on a mentality of like, money, right? So, oh, I'll stay because of money. Oh, I'll stay because of this. Oh, I'll stay because of that. But in reality, you're still within the matrix, but yet we call ourselves breaking the matrix. Yet a lot of our moves are still within the matrix. And I don't say this to just say up and quit your job, but what are you doing every day to start following your soul? And if the answer is nothing, then you have to reevaluate where you want to be and what you want to do, because even in the grand scheme of things, yes, and when I say the mission, I honestly mean, when you're looking at it based on your energy, any environment you go in, there's going to be a reason you're in that environment. So let's say I go into an environment and maybe there's something I need to see. Maybe I start having to deal with weird scenarios, right? And we'll just put it like that. And to each its own. If you've been going through certain things on a spiritual journey, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you put yourself in a new mission. The goal and the job was, once it was time for you to move forward, you're supposed to move forward. You're not supposed to continue to put yourself in environments where it's like, okay, now I gotta learn this. You don't have to relearn anything. Sometimes the environment is a testing ground for other people, but because you're dealing with so much, it honestly may feel like a testing ground for you. You've probably passed so many lessons, so many situations, and you're sitting back thinking to yourself, like, dang, why do I keep going through this? And you never stop to say, I'm putting myself through this. Why didn't I have more discipline to start my business? Why didn't I go after my dreams? And your age doesn't matter. So I'm not saying this to anybody who's older, but any age, at what point will you continue to move forward? Because I'm starting to realize that no situation, no environment is going to be perfect, right? But if it was always meant for you to be a generational wealth breaker, if it was always meant for you to be successful, why is it that you keep taking on these jobs that mean you no good? Or even if you're taking jobs, you're like, but y'all, the energy is off. Then you start fixing yourself instead of saying, no, it might not be me, it might be them. You know, because I've had my own, and this is matter of fact, this is a confirmation for you. It's not you, it's them. People could talk about body snatchers, they can talk about all these things, whatever it is. If you're not in that environment, you probably won't be dealing with it. Okay. And I understand that we get pulled so much into how society wants us to move. I get it because I'm in a situation where I'm like, okay, I could trust spirit 100%, but I've had to trust myself this whole time. And spirit had my back even when I didn't recognize it. And spirit just is like, well, if you're going to trust us, trust us. But if you're not, we support you. And that's the beautiful thing about growth, is that spirit will support you even when you think you're making the best decision, because they know it's coming from a genuine place. They know that it's coming from your heart. Things may not be perfect, but as I'm saying this, I'm really talking to myself for real. And sometimes not even choosing a job based on, you don't choose a job based on like only money, but what's going to allow you to have a little bit more peace? Is it an environment where I can make money and, not have to deal with drama or not have to deal with negativity? Or I have to, what is going to be the environment that behooves you? Because when you continue to chase money, if you're a manifester, for some of us we are, how are you manifesting money if you don't trust spirit? You're trying to hold on to a job because you're counting your checks because you have a lot of situations going. What if you just gave up? What if you just said, and when I say give up, you just say, you know what? Forget this physical world. Why don't I go after what I want to do? Like, honestly, I created new tarot cards um, that I was like, oh, I can't wait to do some readings. And I was just going to pump them out, even though I don't have a large following and a lot of people at all do not want to hear what I'm saying. Even though deep down in my soul, I'm saying the right things. And there even is a part of me that's like, well, a lot of people aren't really watching it, and it could be my delivery, and it's just like, no, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. You can make mistakes along the way. If you want to post tarot readings, post your tarot readings. If you want to do something different, do something different. But don't put yourself in a suffering environment where you're being judged, where everything you do is a problem, and you know for a fact it has nothing to do with the money. It has more to do with you accepting a mission you didn't have to accept, right? So I want to kind of end it with this. So I was watching The Lord of the Rings, the new TV show, which is really a good, it's really a good TV show. I like it. It makes me want to watch the movies again so I can connect, like, because I remembered some of the hints, like when they were mentioning names, but I was kind of like, okay. So one of them was Grazdiel or something like that. She's the Elven commander of something, and I remember they were trying to get her to move on to the next level and relax. You don't have to fight anymore. The wars are over. It's going to be peace, blah, blah, blah. And, she made the decision to continue to fight, right? To continue to look for Salmard. I'm getting these. I'm slaughtering these names. So, but she continued to fight, and then I realized, how is some of us going to get our crowns if all we continue to do is fight? You have a spirit team, you have energies that are already willing to assist you once you calm down. And yes, even if the situation that you're in isn't going to be perfect, what are, if you trust spirit, it'll eventually get better. You know what I'm saying? And that's the hardest part, because we have trusted ourselves for so long. Get Sometimes being in a space where you trust spirit teaches you gratitude, right? To finally relax. And it teaches you humbleness. It teaches you peace and to let go and to say, I have no clue what's next, but I'm just going to let go. And back to the story of Lord of the Rings, she didn't want to do that. She wanted to keep fighting. And I'm not going to have a spoiler alert, but pay attention to the last episode and what happened at the end. Now, I know she's an elf, so I'm just going to say this. I don't think she died, but she was able to accomplish some things. So I will say that by her choosing to keep fighting, it changed the course of things. However, based on how you look at the show, it really could have been a negative versus a positive if you really analyze like what ended up happening at the end, right? But because as we know, if you really, really pay attention, based on the Lord of the Rings, most of those kingdoms that you see were null and void at that time when you watch the movies. But I say this is just stop taking on really more that you can choose. Follow your heart, follow your passion. And trust that even if you make a mistake, spirit will put you on the right path. Like I said, it's not to quit a job, it's not to give up on what you currently have going on, but figure out a balance where you realize that you don't have to keep doing this, that you can trust yourself, you can trust spirit, and be in a free energy, an energy where you're not tied down to energies that look at you in a negative way. Ashe, have a good day.